Well, welcome and congratulations to our class of 2021 doctoral graduates. If you had to pick one word that defines a PhD or what it takes to get a doctorate, I think hands down it'd be persistence. Just the discipline, the fortitude to bring a new insight to life, to be able to document it, to be able to come up with a new way of looking at the world. And this past year and a quarter especially has been requiring you to display even more persistence on top of the task that you took on, to take some meaningful new research and bring new light to bear. And it hadn't occurred to me, the persistence, the word, is the same one that people most often use to describe an entrepreneur, a successful entrepreneur. In French, entrepreneur comes from two components, to bring between. You take some new knowledge and you apply it. And often it seems blindingly obvious why people didn't think of it beforehand. But it takes an entrepreneur, it takes a PhD to be able to do that. One of my favorite entrepreneur stories, an entrepreneurial story, involved a graduate of a program I was involved with, and this person, she went off to work for a major dairy products producer. Covered a lot of the Southwest with their products. And they were frustrated because they were losing market share. Cars started to have cup holders. And the car manufacturers insisted on making cylindrical cup holders. And so milk was losing steadily market share to soft drinks. And this company year after year went to Detroit to lobby the big three manufacturers in the US and said, look, could you at least make one of the cup holders square? And that way we'll have a fair chance to compete with the soft drinks of the world. And people will nourish themselves with milk, which is better for them than soft drinks, they argued. And this cycle repeated itself year after year. Unsuccessful. Market share kept falling. And this entrepreneur with her company came up with the blinding insight, well, instead of going to Detroit every year, let's just make milk cartons cylindrical. And it ended up being the single biggest, most impactful invention in the dairy products business over the course of a decade. So it's a story, but I think it's the same lesson that applies. I don't know if you have the same reaction when the Nobel Prizes are announced. It always seems like a blindingly obvious insight, but until that scholar came up with that insight, it wasn't so obvious. So we're here to congratulate you on the light you've shed, on the questions you've chosen to research, to confer on you a doctoral degree from our university. And there's some fine print, which I'll come to in the closing remarks, that talks about the rights, privileges, responsibilities attached thereto. But first, let's confer the honors you've so richly now deserve. And to do that, I'm going to call on Dr. Jay Serio, Dean of Graduate and Continuing Studies, to help me in a lead capacity.
Good afternoon, everyone. The hooding ceremony for doctoral students is a rite of passage, and it marks the culmination of many years of courses, field experiences in the case of doctoral students in psychology, and research. And I know that the parents and spouses of these students are aware that they have spent anywhere from 5 to 7 years of their lives getting to this point. It's always an honor and pleasure for me to participate in this and see our doctoral students in school of psychology achieve this goal in particular. I've experienced it with my own advisees many times, and it's always thrilling to see a new group of doctoral students reach this milestone in their training. Mr. President, will the faculty responsible for the doctoral program in school psychology and the candidates for the degree Doctor of Psychology please stand? Faculty, please be seated. Mr. President, standing before you are the candidates for the degree of Doctor of Psychology. They have completed all requirements as set forth by the faculty. I am pleased to present them to you for conferment of degree. Please come forward to the stage with your advisor when I call your name so that we may present you with the hood of your degree. Samuel Donnelly, advised by Dr. Lynn O'Connell.
In recognition of these accomplishments and by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Alfred University Board of Trustees, and upon the recommendation of your faculty, I confer upon you Samuel Donnelly, Doctor of Psychology, with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereto appertaining, in token whereof I cause you to be vested with the hood of the degree, and I hand you this diploma. Congratulations, Dr. Donnelly.
Kristen Katowski, advised by Dr. Jana Atlas.
In recognition of these accomplishments and by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Alfred University Board of Trustees, and upon the recommendation of your faculty, I confer upon you, Kristen Katowski, Doctor of Psychology with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereto appertaining, in token whereof I cause you to be vested with the hood of the degree, and I hand you this diploma. Congratulations, Dr. Katowski.
Sorry for the photo bombing, Kristen. Bridget McGlynn, advised by Dr. Rachel Gardner.
In recognition of these accomplishments and by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Alfred University Board of Trustees, and upon the recommendation of your faculty, I confer upon you, Bridget McGlynn, Doctor of Psychology, with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereto appertaining. In token whereof, I cause you to be vested with the hood of the degree, and I hand you this diploma, Dr. McGlynn.
Erica Miller, advised by Dr. Jana Atlas.
In recognition of these accomplishments and by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Alfred University Board of Trustees, and upon the recommendation of your faculty, I confer upon you, Erica Miller, Doctor of Psychology, with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereto appertaining. In token whereof, I cause you to be vested with the hood of the degree, and I hand you this diploma. Congratulations, Dr. Miller.
Kim Thurston, advised by Dr. Mark Fugate.
In recognition of these accomplishments and by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Alfred University Board of Trustees, and upon the recommendation of your faculty, I confer upon you, Kim Thurston, Doctor of Psychology with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereto appertaining. In token whereof, I cause you to be vested with the hood of the degree, and I hand you this diploma. Congratulations, Dr. Thurston.
Jacqueline Wolford, advised by Dr. Andrea Birch.
In recognition of these accomplishments and by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Alfred University, and upon the recommendation of your faculty, I confer upon you Jacqueline Wolford, Doctor of Psychology, with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereto appertaining. In token whereof, I cause you to be vested with the hood of the degree, and I hand you this diploma. Congratulations, Dr. Wolford. Graduates, new doctors, you may be seated. Please join me in acknowledging all the people that have helped you earn this distinguished academic degree, your family, your loved ones, your friends, the faculty and staff of our Graduate Psychology School Counseling Program. So let's give them a round of applause. Thank you as well to our Provost and Vice President of Academic Affairs, Beth Ann Doby. She and her team, including our deans, Jay Serio, have organized the commencement activities of today. So let's join in giving them a round of applause as well. And then real briefly, the fine print that you just heard. What is the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereto appertaining? Roughly translated, what does that mean? In terms of rights, privileges, what you've just received is a credential testifying to your diligence, to your persistence, to your ability to discover knowledge, to add to our understanding of the world as it exists. How about responsibilities? The credential testifies to your ability to identify that new knowledge. The responsibility is to remain open to what all still has to be learned. And roughly, we think we can divide the world between what we know and what we don't know. We think you've moved the needle between those two worlds. But we would just urge you to also be cognizant of other aspects of the world out there. There's that aspect that we think we know, but we need to think again. Adam Grant has a wonderful new book, Think Again, how to basically think like a scientist. Because sometimes we need to change our minds when new evidence, new methodologies come to light. And then there's that other world where we don't even know what we don't know. So there are certain things we know for sure we don't know, but there's a lot we don't even know we don't know. And that's an important responsibility of a doctorate holder. So we congratulate you on this ability to bring light. We charge you with the responsibility of continuing to remain mindful of bringing further light to what we don't know, what we think we know, and what we don't know that we don't know. So fiat lux, and congratulations. And I believe we're adjourned and time to celebrate and drink some champagne in your honor. So,
Thank you, Mark.
yeah.